Welcome to Mastering Your Financial Life, hosted by Judy Heft, the founder and CEO of Judy Heft and Associates, Financial and Lifestyle Concierge. This year, she's celebrating 27 years in business. In every episode, Judy interviews professionals who help others successfully manage their financial lives. You can find this show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. Judy is the author of 2 books, How to Be Smart, Successful, and Organized with Your Money for a Better Today and Tomorrow, and her latest book, Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles, How to Successfully Manage Money in Every Decade of Life. You can read chapters of her books and catch prior episodes of the show at www.judithheft.com. Now, here's the host of Mastering Your Financial Life, Judy Heft.
Hello, everybody. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Welcome to episode 80 of Mastering Your Financial Life. And today I'm really thrilled to be here with my good friend, Sharon Bregman. Sharon is the founder and managing member of 360 Dimanche, and she's been doing that for over 18 years. And she's a little bit of French in here, so that's why she has a French name for her company. I love it. So cute. So Sharon manages residential moves around the corner, around the globe, anywhere you need, even around into storage facilities. So she's really great at that. And what she does is she works with a lot of seniors too and helps them right size. She doesn't say downsize, she right sizes them, which I love that expression too, Sharon. And she helps them get into whether it's assisted living, independent living, or even just a condo. And so she's really great. And one thing I love about Sharon is she really gets down to the nitty gritty. She'll look in every single pocket. And I know that she's told me stories of things that she's found that other people have missed, other professionals that have been involved in the project too. So, it's really great to have someone like Sharon on your team. Excuse me. So, yeah, let's talk about it and let's find out. Welcome, Sharon. I'm really happy to have you here today.
Good morning. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
My pleasure. So, I think, we think, oh, we can just go through and get rid of all this stuff ourselves. It's not a big deal. But why is it so important? What are some of the expensive mistakes that families make when they, someone passes away too? You do a lot of that work and they need to go in there and, this kid wants this and this kid wants that, and then they're fighting. And so what are some of the expensive mistakes that they make with, when they're downsizing or emptying the home of a loved one?
I mostly empty homes of loved ones. Downsizing is part, but there's more estate work. And the mistakes that families make is they put value on sentimental items and disregard small things that have been around forever that are really worth a lot of money. So there's a huge emotional component in the financial mistakes. Another mistake that families make is they can't decide what anybody wants. So everything will go into storage. And once it's in storage, they know where it is and they never take it out. It's very similar to your child leaving their wedding gown and their yearbooks in your home. They know full well where they are, but when push comes to shove, they have no room for them in their own homes. So storage becomes a very expensive proposition, and eventually you wind up buying everything back. Another mistake that people make is they'll bring in a dumpster. They'll park it in the driveway or on the lawn. And when you do that, you pay for the rental, the drop-off, the pickup, and the tippage. It will make holes in your driveway. It will make holes in your yard. Other people will fill it up with stuff that they don't want. And you're going to hurt yourself lifting heavy items up and throwing them into the dumpster. If you segregate all of your trash and then call in a trash removal company, they supply the labor. There is no drop off. There's no rental. There's simply tippage. Labor is included and nobody gets hurt. And it's done in one day instead of having something outside your home indicating this house is empty, come and rob me. So there's several things that become financial errors. I think one of the biggest problems is that families assume they know where everything is. But in every home I've ever been in, things have been squirreled away, purposely hidden, or absolutely lost and forgotten about. No matter the value of the home, yes, we work mostly with high net worth clients, but we work with very average people as well. We have always found money, jewelry. In one house, I found $75,000 worth of mature bonds in an envelope in the drawer in a sewing machine. People just put things away and forget about them. Or the one that I really dislike the most is there are people that are known as clean out experts. They will either charge you a sum of money and they take everything away, or they'll pay you a small sum of money and take everything away. But then they keep whatever they take. And we find things. I guess one of the best examples of junk that would have gone out to a cleanout company was a closet in an apartment. Um, it was a big, deep walk in closet, and there were empty planter pots and all kinds of trash in this closet. And as we pulled it out, way in the back, there were three strong boxes, which we had to break open with a hammer and a screwdriver. And in those strong boxes, there was a collection of coins, all sorted in this specific plastic containers by size of coin. And when I took them to my coin dealer, there was over $8,000 worth of coins. So, had this family called in a cleanout company, that would have been gone. And that was one of the options they were looking at before they hired me. So, those are some of the biggest mistakes that families make when it comes to financial errors.
That's so true. There's so many different examples there. I think some of the things are, what you said about holding on to things for sentimental reasons. I think one of the things my daughters and I we're really good at, purging stuff, but sometimes I'll want to hold on to something, even though it's maybe even ugly article of clothing and it means something to me. And my daughter always says to me when we're going through stuff together, do you want to throw it out now, Mom? Or do you want me to throw it out after you're dead?
Oh my goodness.
And you know what? It's kind of true because the young people don't want our stuff anymore. That's part of it too. The brown furniture, unless it's really, they can repurpose it properly. But yeah, it's so true. The younger generation just doesn't feel the same about some of the things that we do. So it's good to have a neutral person in there, someone who's not emotionally attached to these things. And you can just really, be more honest about it and not let the emotions, fit in there. So that's pretty interesting. So you work with a lot of executors?
I work with a lot of executors. I can honestly say that I've done more estates than any individual executor that I have come across has done because I've been doing this for 18 years, home after home after home. Whereas a trust and estate attorney writes hundreds and hundreds of wills, but they don't actually get to empty out hundreds and hundreds of homes. And some mistakes that executors make, whether they're attorneys or just regular trusted advisors or a relative, they don't change the locks. And one of the first things that I say to an executor when I go to do an initial consultation is, have you changed the locks? A lot of people have keys. Over the years, many people have keys. And in some instances, a child will break in the middle of the night if they're not the executor to take something that they want. And it creates all kinds of problems. Executors have a legal and a fiduciary responsibility to manage the estate and to do exactly what it says in the will. And that's another mistake executors make. If the will stipulates, for example, this goes to this child and this goes to that grandchild, and all the rest needs to be sold and divided amongst the family members in whatever manner it is. And then the executor finds out that the children are getting along famously and turns them loose in the house to take whatever they want. They will eventually fight over something. And it happened in one of the estates that I was involved with, where the daughters actually went to war over a vacuum cleaner, which of course made the executor stop the process of having them take what they want. And at this point, a lot of damage had been done. And eventually, these two girls wound up suing each other and the lawyer. So you need to be careful as an executor, and you really need to read the will carefully, and you need to do what it says. And even if it upsets a family member, the person who wrote the will knew what they were doing. And that's what you have to do as an executor.
It's so true. I was also involved in a similar situation in an estate settlement where there were an elderly aunt left her estate, two homes to her three nieces. There were no other, she didn't have any children, and they were all very close sisters.
Right.
And they all ended up hating each other at the end of it, hiring their own lawyers and suing each other. And it was just a big mess. It was just too bad that it all happened that way. But you know what? Your emotions get involved and you're not thinking straight and you're grieving. And, it's good to have that. Like I said before, you need a neutral party in there to bring some common sense to the table and, save those relationships. So it's
Right.
great that you're able to do that.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's fascinating that emotions rule the day sometimes, and greed.
It's so true, Sharon. I always say, money is not dollars and cents. Money is very emotional. And especially if it's coupled with grief and loss, it can really exacerbate and just be really a horrible thing and just cause so much division between family members. It's hurtful. So
Yes.
it's good to have a neutral person. So what are some of the financial and emotional benefits? We know that we talked about this, saving the family, maybe keeping it intact, but it's hard, and because they think they're saving money by doing it themselves.
They're not,
Right.
usually speaking, because they do have a tremendous amount of emotion involved, and it slows the process down enormously. Um, they'll either take too long because they're going to start to cry or they're going to start to reminisce, or they can't all get together at the same time. Therefore, nobody does anything. Or they'll jump in like blazing guns and work for a day or two and then become exhausted, overwhelmed, walk away, and the house will just sit there. And there's several things that people don't understand about empty homes. You can have lights on timers, but a house that is empty looks empty. And I don't mean empty of its stuff, I mean empty of human life. Um, and it's a sitting target for squatters, teenagers who want a place to party, um, somebody that wants to come and strip out all of your copper piping. And these things really happen. Also, when a house is empty, you need to insure it as such. And most people don't realize that. And insurance on an empty home is higher than insurance on an occupied home.
Well,
You
that's
also
something
have,
I didn't know. That's interesting.
well, because it's basically a sitting
Right.
target and the insurance companies want to protect themselves.
Makes sense.
Right. And then you also have property taxes and you have utilities and you have what I call deterioration due to lack of use. And people don't stop to think about that either. If you don't flush the toilets and open up the taps and run the dishwasher and open and close the refrigerator door, gaskets dry out, washers get locked down in place. Things just happen. Homes are meant to be occupied and air is meant to be circulated. So the longer the house stays empty, the more it deteriorates and the more it costs you to keep this empty home empty. So getting us to go in there and do the job for you saves money because we move the process along quickly. The house is really not empty because we're in and out of it until the job is done. And then the house can be sold. A house is a major asset. It may not be your largest single asset, but it is definitely a huge asset in the estate. And the faster it can be sold, the quicker you can close the estate, the quicker the money can be used for other things, and the less of a drag it is on the financial resources of the estate. Not only is there a financial benefit in having somebody help you, there's a huge emotional benefit because it's very difficult to empty the home of somebody you loved, especially the bedroom. The master bedroom is the worst. It's even tough for us because that is where all of the trinkets and the little parts of a human life are squirreled away. We go through the drawers item by item and the closets, as you said, item by item. We empty the pockets. We look in the pocketbooks. There are boxes and bags and things stuffed into closets, and that all needs to be checked. There's uh, personal items that we unearth, love letters between the parents before they were married, photographs of relatives and ancestors, and just all kinds of things that we're very sensitive to. And we need to make sure that these items of memorabilia are distributed if wanted. Many families want them. Some families want nothing other than the money.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's so true. Let's take a little break here. We're going to come back and we're going to talk some more with Sharon. We're with Sharon Bregman of 360 Dimanche.
Hey there. I just want to tell you a little bit about my new book that just came out called Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles. And here it is. It's how to successfully manage your money in every decade of life. I co-authored this with my CFO, Liz Levy. And together we created this manual that's going to help you through every stage of life. We talk about having a baby. We talk about young adulthood, pre-retirement, what to do when you're at that age of retirement. If you're contemplating divorce, do you need an estate plan? We cover all of these, each subject in a different chapter. And I really think that you're going to find this so helpful because at the end of every chapter, we have checklists that you can look at and you can use, and they can be a guide for you. So this is a wonderful manual that we've created. It's available on Amazon. You can also find it on our website at judithheft.com/book. And we're here for you. If you need anything, reach out. I hope you enjoy the book. Here's another picture of it, just so you know what's going on. Here it is. And I'm really proud of it. It's my second book. And I'd love to have you read it and give me your feedback. Judy Heft, judithheft.com, financial and lifestyle concierge, celebrating 26 years in business. And over the years, I've learned so much. And what I've been trying to do is impart a little bit of this knowledge to you so I can help all of you become as financially organized as I am.
And we're back. We're back with Sharon Bregman, Sharon with 360 Dimanche. So Sharon, let's talk a little bit about your move management service, because I think that's really interesting because so many people are, afraid to hire someone. They think they can do it all themselves. They think they're going to pack up some of these beautiful crystal glasses by themselves and not worry about anything, or transport that gorgeous lamp that's been in the family for hundreds of years. But, those things, accidents happen. We know that. And, we're not professionals trying to do it ourselves. So what are some of the benefits of working with you and your staff?
Okay, well, sadly, I myself have moved over 12 times, and moving is self-inflicted trauma. There's just no other way to put it. And it upsets everybody. So what we bring to the picture is the ability for me to say after the consultation, where I go through everything, I say it to the lady of the house usually because she's the one who's supposed to be in charge. After today, you don't need to worry about anything other than read this 17-page little booklet I'm going to give you of things you need to do, because I don't want to know your social security number and all of your passwords. So we do hand off this to-do list. And occasionally I will have a family where they need to do everything, but most people don't. And it covers all the personal things that you need to take care of, from advising people of your new address, especially the IRS, which is something that people don't think of. And Judy, I'm sure you're aware that the IRS will send notifications to the taxpayer, not to the accountant. So if they don't know where to find you, you are kind of in trouble. If you're moving out of state or to a different city, I suggest you gather up your medical records and don't really rely on the fact that a few page summary will be emailed to your new doctors when you get to where you have to go. I recommend silly things that people don't think of, like return your books to the library, empty out your safety deposit box, pick up your dry cleaning. Um, and then, of course, there's preparation of the new home, which you haven't even considered yet. You've purchased it. Um, Maybe somebody's gone in to do a little work, but have you measured how many linear feet of hanging space you need? Are your closets set up properly? I see you've got a whole wall of books here. Are you taking them all? Do you have enough bookshelves in the new house? Um, have you canceled the babysitter and the dog walker and the people that mow your yard and the people that service your pool? It just goes on and on. And depending upon how complex your life is, I think we've covered everything in these 17 pages. Before the move actually takes place, myself and my staff will go into your home and get everything pre-organized. Several people move in multiple directions. Or if you're moving to a slightly larger home, the sofa in the living room may wind up now in the family room in the new house. So everything has to be marked as to where it's going in the new house, or as to which of your 4 different homes it's going to. And so we color code everything by destination, and then everything is labeled by room it is currently in and room it is going to. And this is something that we can do because I've now made all my notes after the consultation. And for the homeowner, it's overwhelming because I myself don't have my home completely photographed, but I can do it for other people. So we get all of this stuff labeled, and then we literally photograph everything that is going to be packed and moved so that we can cross-reference and identify every single item that is going to be delivered. We also give people a little nudge to triage and get rid of some of their garbage before they move. And that's not easy. Nobody wants to do it. They have it, they've saved it, it's in their attic, it's in their garage. And I need to explain to them, this is going to cost you an extra so many thousands of dollars. And where are you going to put it in your new house after it's all packed
In the
up?
garage, in the new garage.
The new garage where your car is not going to fit.
Right.
We remind people to put some food into the new home before they get there, or to have their realtor at least put in some staples and some toilet paper and Kleenex and soap. I mean, just those basic essentials that you are going to need when you set foot into a new house. We make sure that certain boxes are marked open me first because you are going to need your bed linen. So we bring organization, we take away the stress and the emotional complications so that the family can go on living their lives while we're doing all of the grunt work. And I had a client once say to me as I walked out the door of my initial consultation with her, saying, "You don't need to do anything now, just go about your life, go to Florida, have a nice time, we'll take care of everything." She gave me a big hug. And she said to me, "You are better than a bottle of Valium," which to me
It
was
sounds
very
good.
high praise.
That's a great compliment. And, I'm sitting here thinking and listening to you and thinking about all those things that you're talking about that the average person doesn't think about. There's so many great tips here. And I think that, your little checklist sounds invaluable. And it's, you just really proved the point of why it's important to have someone professional helping you. And I always recommend professionals in every industry because they know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, right? And there are so many things you said I never even thought of. So
Right.
It's great to have you. So, what else do you take a photographic inventory of? Should you be doing this in advance just so you have it for insurance purposes? Is that
Okay,
important?
so the photographic inventory that we do when you're moving, we literally photograph everything. Every work of art, every lamp, every piece of furniture, everything that's on every piece of furniture, everything that is in every drawer. Now, we don't take it all out, but it's an overview, drawer by drawer by drawer. So at least when you are unpacking, you know where things were. And when the movers are packing, which is something I'll get into in another moment, they pack it out the way we photograph it so that it can be taken out of boxes exactly the way it was, which is one of the reasons that I highly recommend using a professional moving company to pack things. Multiple reasons. First of all, if you pack it and it breaks, you're not insured because it's, he said, she said. The movers are moving the boxes, but they don't know the condition of anything that went into the box. Also, the movers can pack at 10 times the speed of a human being who's never done it before. They know how to put the dishes into boxes. We would lie them down flat. They stand them up on end because they don't get compressed and crushed. They know how to pack art. They know how to take things apart and reassemble them when they're delivered. They have better cardboard boxes than you can buy at Staples. And once you start packing, there's big, bulky boxes and paper and bubble wrap, and it's all over the house, and you will get hurt. People don't realize that you bump into things into the middle of the night. So if the packing can be done over the course of 2 or 3 days versus you doing it over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, there's that huge risk factor eliminated. Also, once you start to pack, and I don't care how clean your house is, you start moving things out. You start taking books out of shelves. There's dust. There's dirt. People have dogs. People have cats. People have children. I mean, it's very risky to be in a house in the midst of a move. So that's one of the reasons that it's important to have a professional moving company do it. They save you time and money, even though you think it's costing you more. You would have to buy the supplies. You would have to take X amount of days off of your life. And there's the high risk of you're breaking something that you love.
Not to mention the stress that's involved with moving.
Right.
They save you a lot of aggravation and stress. It's definitely important to hire a professional.
Now, here's one of the things that I practically insist upon that several people appreciate and a few people really don't like. Once the movers come to start to pack, I don't want you in the house anymore because it is dangerous. And this is going to sound a little blasé, but if you can afford to hire us to supervise your move and the moving company to come and pack you, you can either go and stay in a hotel, stay with a friend, just get out of the house because we need to do what we need to do. And the faster we get it done, the less it's going to cost you. And the sooner you're going to be in your new home, enjoying your new space. And that's just, I've learned the hard way that it's important to be able to do this quickly and efficiently.
That's great. So Sharon, this is wonderful. A lot of good tips here. How can our listeners find you?
Well, I have a website, 360demenager.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. They can call you. And if you look me up under my own name, I'm sure I will pop up in Google.
That's great, Sharon. So thank you so much. Thanks for being an interesting guest today. I love talking to you and finding out. You gave me some great ideas in my impending move. So thanks for that too.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into Mastering Your Financial Life, hosted by Judy Heft. You can read chapters of her books and catch prior episodes of the show at www.judithheft.com. Thank you for your positive comments and sharing this show with others.